Running. Well, welcome everybody to the call today. I'm going to be going over a lot of different things about building the rain and kind of tied it into Prosperity Central. Over this last week, we've had a lot of new people come in, and some new people that are kind of rediscovering what Rain Soul is all about. And there were a lot of common questions that came up, and I've kind of figured this was a good time to kind of go back over some of the basics and also why we do what we do and kind of tie it all in to building the Rain business. I know from the emails I've got, we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be listening to this recording, so I'm just going to go ahead and push right through and kind of go over all this. And for those of you that are on the recording, again, you guys, once you listen to this, make sure you give me a real quick shout-out on what you got out of the program. It's always a definite thing. The whole point of doing this and during the course of the week is when I'm talking to quite a few of you and seeing what's going on and what issues you are having out in the field, some general things just start to pan right out. And what I'm seeing, especially now that we've got summer going and some of you have been in the groups, is I've seen a lot of you are missing the basics on why you're building this business. And I got to thinking about that. It says, I think it's about time to kind of go back and say what it is we're doing here, building the business, and again, also tying this into using Prosperity Central and our other tools, the other tools that we have. Now, a real quick side note here, in Prosperity Central, you guys, I just want to make this real clear, especially to the new people that are here. If you go back, here's your dashboard on Prosperity Central. If you go back into the marketing and you come down to the Team Horizon page, you're going to have the videos and training here on what we're doing and how we're using Prosperity Central. And I've got all the basic information right here that you need. And right here on Wednesday team recordings, this is where I'm going to put the recordings in when they get finished. The last meeting we had, unfortunately, Prosperity Central Meeting Burner had server problems and they lost the recording. They couldn't recover it. So hopefully that won't happen around this time. But just remember, you come to the marketing, Team Horizon page, and this will bring the marketing. And then the other thing is on the training tab. If you come down to the Team Horizon page again, this is where I'll have all the training videos that I have that are relevant to what we're doing. And you can come down here in order to expand your Prosperity Central. I've got everything back here from setting up domains to printing the labels for using PayPal, for the sample programs. Everything you pretty much really need to know in order to move forward with your business is going to be back here. So just know that this is here. And I'm going to be posting more and more trainings back here on both the marketing and the training for you guys to kind of follow up with. And also, these are here to help you with your people. When you bring somebody in and they have information, come back here, grab one of these links, copy and paste it, and send it out to somebody for information. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and get started on what I'm wanting to go over with you guys today. And that's there's a sequence of events that everybody needs to do in order to build their business. And there's certain tools that are absolutely important. And it's kind of amazing when the people I've been talking to, how many people lack these tools. And this is a business. You need certain things in order to operate your business well, and you need certain tools both on your computer and at home in order to just move forward. So I thought about it and said, here's some real basics. Number one, it seems obvious you got to have a phone, but I'm telling you right now, if you get a headset for your phone and plug it in, you're going to make life a lot easier. As you start building your team and you start talking to, and those of you who've had the experience with this, being able to have a conversation, to have your hands free, to take notes, to write things down, to be able to go on the computer and look up information or type in orders is just really, really critical. And you can buy a decent headset for your phone. I just use a standard wire one. It didn't cost me more than $12. And it plugs in the phone, and it's important. The other thing that's also important with the phone set is you need to have a phone that will accept the plug. I know a lot of landline phones out there anymore don't have headsets, don't have the plug for them. So, but there's still a few out there. Panasonic is one of the companies I know that still makes a phone if you have a landline. Obviously, if you use your cell phone for everything, the headset's there. I would recommend that you still get a wired headset and not use I mean, the Bluetooth and everything work really well, but the bottom line is when you're talking to somebody, you don't want to have any chance of losing them. It goes without saying, with what we do and how we build a business, the computer is absolutely essential, both for the training purposes and everything else. You just got to have it. Here's something that is really important. Essentially, we're going to be doing a lot of marketing on the internet. Is phone numbers. Everybody should have a virtual phone number. Now, everybody that's in Prosperity Central has a virtual phone number. You all have an 800 in the back there with an extension. And these are things you can use in your promotion, your advertising. I also recommend that you go back, and there's a lot of different companies out there. The one that I use is called K7.net. That's the, like, K as in killer, 7.net. They got a free virtual phone number. Here's the advantage, especially when you start getting into more internet coverage and you start getting on, if you're promoting your sites, if you're using SafeList, whatever you're doing out there in advertising, is that by having a virtual number, there are people out there that scrape numbers off the internet. It will save you a lot of phone calls you may not, unnecessary phone calls you may not want to get on there. This allows you to sort it out. And if by chance you get one of those crazy people out there that just want to bug you, well, it's really easy to turn the number off and pick up another one and just move forward with it. Amazingly enough, kind of interesting, if you guys, most computers, most systems have Microsoft Office or some variation thereof. Because of the fact, especially for those of you that are getting leads and programming and I mean the publisher making up posters and things, the inserts for the sample package, it's really important you have Microsoft Office. I think that probably has all the tools you're going to need in order to help build your business. We want to print brochures, and you want to be able to do your inserts and write your letters and have a way to copy. If you're doing shows and things like that, having the Microsoft Office in order to do your brochures and print it up, I think is absolutely essential. The other two things that's important, not necessarily a requirement, but as you start moving, is you really need to have two other things. One is a recording program of some kind that you can do recordings, and especially if you're getting into some of the phone calling, if you get into phone burner, things like that, it's nice to be able to do a recording on your computer and then take that file and upload it in. Video platform, it's not a bad idea to have some way to take a video and capture. There's plenty of programs out there. And you can take those videos, you take the video platforms, and you can push them right over to YouTube and start posting them there. If you find things that are interesting, and if you take and you upload or you take videos or you generate some of your own information and put it on the YouTube, and this is a whole separate training, I'm not going to get into it today, but if you take and you start putting in things into your YouTube channel and develop it will attract business to you because people are out there looking. If you go back in there, we have a couple of team members right now that are just killing it on YouTube with getting things up. And even myself, I get calls, on a regular basis because of my YouTube channel. Now, the video platforms it's a little bit more advanced, but it is something you should start thinking about, putting together. Now, here's probably the most critical tool you guys got at your disposal right now, and I don't think a lot of you really appreciate what you have here in this system. Both in Prosperity Central, which has your capture pages, your email campaigns, and allows you to manage your prospects, and then there's also the VIP system, which has the capture pages. What's critical with this system, and the reason why you're in this, is that you have, if you take a look at both in the VIP and you take a look in Prosperity Central, the capture pages that are back there, the reason for when you give somebody information, you do not want to send them to first off, you don't want to send them to your main URL site because there's nothing there that's going to give them the information on why they need to be in the business. You do, on initial contacts, want to send them something that's short, quick, and is it just enough of a teaser to catch their attention. So as an example, if you go back, let me just bring it up here. If you go back into your Prosperity Central and you take a look, you come back to your marketing tabs back here. Right now, those of you in Prosperity Central, we have a ton of capture pages back here, and they all serve a different purpose. And I know I've talked about this in past trainings and things along that line, but when you find somebody that has an issue or has an interest in the business, there's a capture page back here the two most capture pages you're probably going to be using is Why Rain, and then also the Why Soul, and then there's also the because the News World Report's also, but the Rain International intro right here is probably one you're going to be using if you're using advertising. Just to kind of refresh your memory on this, if I click on this, this is the one that has the caricature. If you're doing any kind of promotions, or especially if you're looking at trying to focus in on the business opportunities, when you bring this one up, this actually, I think this is out of everything we've tested and I've been looking at, this is the video that's been getting the most attention and getting people to follow through and fill out the forms. It's been the best out of all of them. I know the other one, the MLM capture page in the VIP, works very well as well, but this is the one that I have found that works the best. You really need to take the time and go back through here and learn how to take a look at each one of these capture pages that back here. They all have a different purpose and they all have a different need, and it's all about getting people to take a look at what we're doing and sharing with them. And what's nice in Prosperity Central, if they like what they see, they want to take it to the next step, when they fill out that capture page, that will go ahead and put them into your system, and then you'll have a series of emails and contacts the way you can manage it. In your VIP, when you have the VIP system, again, there's training back there on how to set the VIP. Make sure if you're using VIP, you do take your capture pages and you set them up. Let me just see if I can go back to the main panel here. If you come back to your VIP, here is your capture pages. Make sure you follow through. And again, I have the training in the back office there. Take these capture pages, just like in Prosperity Central, assign these and learn how to use these different capture pages back there. These are all great capture pages. And the one thing in our marketplace, and when we're trying to promote, is that every time you talk to somebody about the business, every time you talk to somebody about the opportunity, or you're presenting them, let these tools do the work for you. One of the things that I've been noticing in the group, and I've been talking to people, especially some of you new people that are out there, is you're trying to get people way too much information too fast. And you're not letting the tools do the work for you. Your life will become 10 times easier if you just share this information, take a video, and say, listen to this, or look at this, or give me your opinion. Nothing is stronger in this industry than asking for people's opinions. Because if you ask for their opinions, they would love to look at it, and everybody loves to give you their opinion. But what you're really waiting for is that if they watch it, you're going to ask them, what do they like about what they saw? And at that point, it opens up the conversation so you can take them to the next step. The one thing about bringing people into this business, whether it's in your warm market or in the cold market, it's all about feeding them small bites at a time. And it's been interesting over the last couple of weeks with some of the new people that have come in, and I've brought in there have been some new marketers come in. It's interesting how people are just trying to get people way too much information, and they'll talk themselves right out of a deal. You give people little bits of information, and you let them feed on that. You generate their curiosity. You give them a little bit more and a little bit more, and you draw them down to a conclusion. And the conclusion is that, once they've got a little bit of information to get their attention, whether it's through testimonials or through a quick visual representation, then they can learn about Byron, they can learn more about the company, then they can look at the webinar, and if they go through that step, and especially the webinar series that I put out there for you guys to use, is that if they go to that 1 hour webinar, they are going to watch it. That webinar is also in the step 3 of the RAIN opportunity pages now as well. So these tools are very important to learn how to use. Now, here's something I think a lot of people are missing the boat on that are doing promotions right now, and that is, let me just bring this up here. Did we lose the screen here? Hold it. You guys still seeing the screen? Well, let me know if you can see the screen okay. Okay. Good. Thank you. All right, look, one of the things that's back here, both in Prosperity Central and VIP, is in these tools, as you start promoting these, whether you're doing it through your email campaigns or you're doing it through any kind of promotions or anything else, is that these are tracked, and there are tools back here you can use. In your VIP, if you come down here, you will see there is a stat page here. You can click on these stats, and here is all the unique hits, the totals, and you can see if it's effective. Let's say you sat down today and you made a phone call and you sent out to 50 people. Let's say you called 50 people today and you contacted them, or you left them an email message or a voicemail message and you sent them an email. If I send out 50 emails today, I will want to look between the next 24 hours to see if I have any climb right here. And this is where you can tell in your VIP. And in Prosperity Central, if you come back to your website here, and you come right down here where it says View Website Reports, if you look at this, you'll have your website. There's a chart that will pop up here. It should pop up here in just a second. And you can see, and by putting your mouse on the day, like if I go on May 30th here on Friday, I had 12 people hit my landing page. Now, I know last Friday, for instance, I sat down on this and I contacted 20 people, about 25 people on Friday, and there were 12 people that went to the landing page. And I think I had one actually fill out the form. So you can actually kind of track what's happening here as you're doing your promotion. Now, if you're doing a lot of promotions or you're out there, let's say you are marketing your capture page, and everything you do marketing-wise should always go to a capture page. Sending somebody to your RAIN opportunity page or to your TriSol page or to the RAIN URL is basically useless because you are not capturing information. You want to you want to give people little bits of information in order to help them fill out the capture page so they can go to the next page. Because when you have that information, that is what allows you to start working with them in order to get them started. So again, on your website here on Prosperity Central, if you come back to your website, you can actually see the activity. When that web page is open up or the landing page is open up, it will show right here in your reports. Now, come back to my dashboard here. So as you begin to look at this, both the Prosperity Central and the VIP, it doesn't really make any difference if you're not going to be doing the phone calling and the contacting and you're working leads like we're working right now with the system that we're using, then the VIP system is just fine. It has the capture pages and things along that line. The advantage with Prosperity Central, obviously, is I've got a lot of letters back there. We've got a lot of capture pages. You can give them Dr. Weeks, Dr. Freeman. I will soon have Dr. Susan capture page back there where you can send the recording from Dr. If you guys didn't listen to Dr. Susan yesterday, you absolutely need to hear that. And I will have a capture page back there. See, if you send people, instead of sending somebody a link just to like my BYO audio link, that's fine. Why not have that set up when you send it to them? You after they listen to that, if you have more interest, go ahead and fill out the form to the right. Fill that out. Let me know. And if you start sending those kind of information out, you will start getting the activity that a lot of you are looking for. Now, in Prosperity Central, since we've done the changes, what's going to become very important, and I'll be doing more training. I'll be doing more training on this, next week, is that in Prosperity Central right now, the people, if you sit down and you make the phone calls and you're consistent, you should be working. You're all getting 250 leads a week. If you take those 250 leads a week and if you bring it down to where you're dialing, and let's say if you consistently make a phone call, the 25 or you do 50, you consistently call on them, direct them to your email, things like that, and you do that every day. You discipline yourself to take a half hour a day and do that. It's only a matter of time before the activity will start to generate. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's one of those things that if you do 2 or 3 days and then take a break and then go back and do it again another 2 or 3 days, a week later, and take a break, or you get one prospect, you get all excited, And you say, well, I don't need to do those other 10, 15 phone calls because I got this guy right here, and he's the guy that's going to make me $1 million. Well, you're in for a big disappointment. The thing is once you put somebody into your pipeline, you go back and you keep putting another person in and another person in and another person in. Some of you have been around long enough, you've seen this now. You can bring people in, you get people excited, and they will fall by the wayside. Some people will come into this business and they will build, and they'll be excited, and then they'll still fall by the wayside. You've got to be constantly replacing. Again, that's part of this business program. And, we're in this, as you start you always should be recruiting, and you always should be directing people, and it should always come to the capture pages. So this tool, both Prosperity Central and VIP, should be the focal point in your business planning. Every day, there's not a person I talk to on a daily basis, when I'm doing my prospect and I'm talking to somebody new, even on my business cards or any promotion, everybody goes to one of these capture pages to get their information. And what's interesting, especially on Prosperity Central, if you're using the Y Soul or the Y Rain, especially if you're looking for business partners, and let's say that's where you got your marketing set up, the fact of the matter is that if they watch that and they fill out the form and they go to the webinar and they watch that, there's a high probability that they go through those steps. You are going to have about a 50% chance of those people coming in as a RAIN partner, and those people will come in at least 4 levels. In my experience has been so far, I've gotten quite a few people in with 3 business centers on that. But the bottom line is that you've got to be putting people into this system on a daily basis. You've got to take these tools and get them in front of people in a wide variety of different ways, and I'll be going over this in just a minute on the business plan. But both your Prosperity Central or your VIP or both together should be all part of your strategies in getting in front of people, and this will be for everything you're doing in your marketplace. So I hold a very high priority, or this is a very high priority that you need to have one of these 2 systems or even both together, because you've got a lot of tools here, and you need to take the time to learn how to use these things and push these things forward. Now, here's something, and this seems so basic, and it absolutely has amazed me over the last couple of weeks. As we have your Prosperity Central, the other essential tool to run your business nowadays is you've got to have a GoDaddy domain name or a domain name. I don't care, it doesn't have to go to GoDaddy, but you've got to have a place you can send people that's easy to direct people to. So when you're talking to somebody, and I put up just a few of my domain names right here. I've got trisol.net, trisol.info, tolearnmore.biz. See, when I'm talking to people, I know that if I want to use my capture page, I've got trisol.net. That will take them over to the little seed video, and then they fill out that form. That takes them over to my sample page. If I'm already talking to somebody and I have their information and they've already expressed an interest in what I'm doing, and I know I'm going to get back with them because I have their phone number, I have their name, then I can go ahead and send them to my trisol.info because that takes them directly to my Trisol page. So when I send somebody to a page directly, I'm going to make sure that I have some agreement to make a contact with them shortly thereafter to see what they liked. Also, what's really going to tell me if they go ahead and do that is we get the orders for getting the sample packs out, and because you all know, you get those sample packs out, and that should be probably priority number 1 in our business planning right now. Is you've got to put samples in people's hands, whether you're doing it for free or you're selling the 1-week program, but this really works. The other aspect of having the domain name, it also allows you to have your subdomain, and where you can do different directions. Right now, we probably have well over 20 to 25, I haven't counted them, but there's about 25, maybe 30 different types of capture pages you can use. And if you sit down and you spend some time on that, is you can direct people to a page. An example of this, I have biz.trisol.net. If I'm talking to somebody and I want to send them to my webinar and I want to take them through the process, I will send them to biz.trisol.net and say, look, we have a business webinar. Go here, watch a quick video, fill the form out, and that will take you over to the registration form so you can go ahead and learn more about this opportunity to see if this is a right fit for you. See, I always let people know I only want to work with them if they are interested in working with me. And the only way they're going to decide to do that is they got to get the information about the product and the company first. And I don't need to spend a lot of time with them. It's amazing. And again, in talking with the group, when you finally do get a live person, somebody fills out, I'm amazed at how many of us spend so much time. You'll spend a half hour or 30 minutes trying to convince somebody that they need to come with Rain and be a Rain partner with us or to grow. And that is very, believe me, you may get somebody to come through, but 90% of the time you're going to scare somebody away because, even subconsciously, they're going to be thinking, oh, my God, I have to do this too, and I can't do this. I'm not a good salesperson. I mean, you can just rattle through all the excuses. If you let the tools do the work for you, if you let those tools actually do the work for you, when somebody has the question, well, how do I know this product works? I have a video that has some great testimonials. Listen to that, and then I'll talk to you more about it tomorrow. Or I have a video, listen to this testimonials, fill out the form, and then you can actually try the product for yourself. See, people understand that. If they want to know, well, what's in the product? I have a quick video. It takes 10, 15 minutes that actually talks about the product and what's in it and how effective it is. We have an audio that we have a doctor who actually talks about the different elements in it and how they benefit. See, you guys got all those tools back in there right now. So GoDaddy domains, it's essential, and it's so inexpensive. You're looking at on an average of $10 to $12. You can be as little as $4, all depending on specials. You don't necessarily need, if you take a look here, I don't have trysoul.com, but I do have trysoul.net. I do have trysoul.info. And you can even use your own name. One of the things I think is really interesting is everybody should own a domain, their own name in their domain if it's still available for you. Like if you go, you can look up DwightHalstead.com, DwightHalstead.biz, DwightHalstead.net. Okay, I own those, and we'll keep those because they're a definite direction, and I'm going to show you why that's important as we go into my next slide here. Now, there's also an alternative to GoDaddy, and sometimes it's called BlueRazor.com. You can write that down. And it's basically tied into GoDaddy, but to give you an example, right now GoDaddy is charging $12.99 for a year on a domain on the .com domains, and Blue Razor is charging $10.99 right now. So you save $2. Both of them work the same. They're both laid out the same. If you look at my trainings on how to set up a domain back in your Prosperity Central, or if you go over to my YouTube channel, and look at that, you can see how to go ahead and set these things up. If you currently do not have a domain name, I highly recommend. It's part of your business. It is essential. It's so inexpensive, and it will be absolutely critical. Now you can go crazy and buy too many of these. And that's why the subdomain, learning how to use your subdomains is important. It is not hard for me to sit down and talk to somebody and say, hey, go to biz.trysoul.net. biz.trysoul.net. I can talk to somebody over the phone. They can write that down, and I can send them a direct. I can flip over a business card and write that down, and it's easy. It's easy for somebody to type. It's easy for somebody to spell. And you can take any variations thereof and use it. So, when you're doing these, it's one of the things I tell all my new reps that they need to do. They need to get a domain name. It's absolutely essential in this business. It is essential for any business person today. We are 100% tied into the internet today. It is the main source of communications, and having your own domain name and having something tied into you is invaluable. The other thing is, this is for further training. As you get your domain name, there's also a way to, when you have it, it also will start to plug you into search engines. And if you set it up properly, somebody looks up Rain So International, there's always a possibility they could pop up and find you. And guess what? They'll give you a call just from those search engines. Now, that's more advanced studies. It's another training altogether, but you definitely have that possibility. All right. Now that we've got these basic tools together, and this is something that not only for yourself, but it is also something you need to be sharing with your new people. Unless people have a lot of experience marketing, and what I am beginning to see, and I'm getting calls, and I love the access I have to the whole company right now, because I've got people calling me from all kinds of teams on a daily basis, and it is very interesting. And the unique thing even as much as the company talks about the rain cycle, and it is there. It is absolutely amazing how many people really aren't paying attention to it. The advantage to getting somebody down into the rain cycle or talking about the warm market, it is the basic foundation for building your business. Now, the thing is everybody thinks if I'm going to talk to family and friends, I got to go chase them. I got to get them. I got to tell them they need to be in the business. I need to hound them. If you're thinking that, you need to change that thinking. That's what I call it. Zig Ziglar said it best: "It's stinking thinking." We have something. If you're in this business, we have a product that we know works. In my 30 years of doing health and nutritional products and network marketing, I have never in my life seen a product that has had such positive and not just mental or placebo effects, but have had positive effects in helping people get better, get healthier, and just overall well-being. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And every one of you that's on this call and those of you listening to this call should have that to the core of your being. So if that is the case, why wouldn't you share it? And here's something to think about. If I gave each and every one of you $1 million, gave you $10 million, and I told you I would match that with you had to give those 10 friends $1 million, and then I would give you $10 million you can keep for yourself, I'd be willing to bet in 5 minutes you would have that $10 million out to 10 friends in order to collect your next $10 million. Well, what is the difference of that, of giving money out, than giving people information that it actually has more value than $1 million? Because the fact of the matter is, without our health, we have nothing. And a lot of you are very much aware of that. And that is what we have to offer with what we're doing. That is why warm market is so valuable. And it is also the foundation of the business, because in your warm market, if you can share and you use your tools and you approach, this is where you will find the basis. You will take a look. I'll show you any of the successful marketers out there. They always have 1, 2, or 3 people in their warm market that help them get started, that they work with, that they bounce ideas off with, and they move forward. In my case, Herb Hunter and I are old friends. We do this, and we talk every day, and we encourage each other to move on, and we swap out ideas. Well, he was my initial warm market. Now, he recruited me into the business. But the thing is you need to have that. Everybody has a warm market. You have family. Look at your phone. Go through there. Take a look at that. Look at your email list. Most people have 50, 60, 80 people in there. You've got people at work. You've got social clubs. You've got business groups and things like that. If you do not belong to any of these, it's not a bad idea to join one. To join a business group, a social group of some kind. Get yourself involved. Get out there. We are in a people business. It's all about sharing stuff and information. But our warm market is the basis of where you launch your market. As we bring in new reps, it's important that we talk to them about moving into the warm market too. And I know a lot of them resist it, and I always try to express the importance of doing it. Somewhere along the line, if people stay with me, they will start sharing and moving in with their warm market, because you need to have this. You need to have that tie and that connection. But not only that, this is where you build the foundation, where you start building your belief levels, and this is where you bring in the 4, 5, or 6 maybe customers, or 1 or 2 of your business partners. This is where you start to build your foundation so you can start to grow and start developing your market. Because what we're going to be talking for this forward, it's all about going and doing one thing. And we're moving into the cold market, and we're doing leads. But remember, my primary objective, when I get online and I'm sending out emails and campaigns, I'm not really thinking about making money, and I'm not really thinking about trying to sell somebody a product. My main goal when I talk to somebody, and that is in my mindset, is I'm trying to find people that I like. I wanted to develop some new friendships. And once I develop that friendship, and share with them what I have, then I get the right kind of working partners that I can bring in and I can share. And so I turn that cold market into a warm market. So if you guys haven't made contact, again, put your tools to work. Go back and get your Prosperity Central and let them start evaluating the different videos out there, because something's going to resonate that's going to catch their attention. And don't be in a rush to try to get somebody in right away. Just share with them. Every week we've got calls and testimonials, and we've got enough videos out there and recordings that you have the ability to say, I heard something absolutely amazing about, somebody that had cancer. I heard something really amazing about somebody that has a similar condition to arthritis. Listen to this, and then learn more about the product. That's once you start to train your mind to start looking for these things, it will start to open up. And here's what's interesting. How many of you, one time or another, have not had the experience? Let's say, I know, as an example, you go out and let's say you buy a new car is a good example. I remember one of the times I went out and I bought this goes back years ago, and I bought a Fiat. And all of a sudden, after I bought that Fiat, it seemed like there were Fiats all over the place. And I never even noticed them before. Well, my awareness level grew up, and all of a sudden they were there. They were there before, but I just never noticed it. Same thing true is working with your more market, is that once you become aware, you will start hearing the cues that are necessary for you to offer people an opportunity to maybe resolve an issue, whether it's their physical issue or their financial issue. We have that ability to help them with that. So it's very important. So the more market is a big deal. Again, it ties back into the tools that you have, both the VIP and your and the Prosperity Central. All right, business cards. You go to Vista Print. I really believe everybody should have a business card they can hand out to talk to people. When you stand in line, you should always have these on hand. One of the critical things about the business cards is, number one, don't put Rain International or distributor or anything along that line. I'm a firm believer in not doing that. I don't think that is the issue. The reason for handing out a business card is to get their information, not for them to get your information. But it gives you a transition point to do it. It also gives you a transition point to get them to contact you. In there, you should have your business name. I'm registered as Team Horizon. This is my business name. I have my virtual phone number right down here, so they can call. It always goes to voicemail, and then I get an email that tells me that they called. And then I have my email contact, so they can contact me. But more importantly, if you notice here, I have my tolearnmore.com. I've had this for years. What's nice of this business card, anytime I have a new plan or anytime I have a new direction I want to go, I can go back here and change the direction to Learn More to anything that I want to do. Let's say I have a new web page that I want to direct people to, or let's say I have a new campaign or a new video, I can change that. If I'm in a situation to where I'm going to be meeting a group of individuals that are going to be more consumer orientated, which is a good example when I'm doing my trade shows and things along that line, I will direct people to one of my consumer-orientated videos capture pages. If I'm doing a place, let's say I'm going to a webinar, for instance, where there's going to be other business-minded people, then maybe I'll take my tolearnmore.com and I will direct it to my Y-Rain site and pass my cards out at that time. So it really, this way you can customize it, and it will always change. And this is the card I can, at any given time, if I want to do another business, I can do another business. All I have to do is just change it. So, everybody tries to get the fancy cards. And what's nice with doing the Vista prints is you can get like 250 cards for, $10, $15. It's cheap. It's very, very inexpensive. And the layout should be something along this line. It should be something simple, direct, and because if you put down here Rain International, guess what? They're going to go home and they're going to look up Rain International, and you're going to lose them. They're going to go there, they're going to find somebody else, and they're going to enroll with them. All you need to do is to have something simple and direct, and when I hand a business card out, I will usually try to get their information in response to that. And it usually will come from a conversation. If I'm having somebody, they go, well, what do you do? Look at, here's my card, go ahead and just look at there. If you like what you see, get back with me. I have a way that I help people generate an extra few $100s a month. I have a way that we've been helping people that have certain health issues. Take a look at it. You generate the curiosity and you send it to them. You don't sit there. If I meet somebody, why would I want to tell them everything that's been going on? Hang on 1 minute. Looks like we lost our connection. Guys, lost the sound. Anybody hear me now? All right, can anybody type in if you can hear me? Okay, good. So the sound's still working. Can you guys see the screen? Okay, so we haven't lost it. All right, good. For some reason, it seemed to drop out. Okay. Anyways, getting back to the business cards again. Keep them simple. You can if you want to put something here, find out how to. I mean, it goes back to like the old Herbalife. Ask me how to lose weight. You can put anything right in here that catches attention. You just be clever, but you should never have anything about the company. One real quick side note when you're back on if you want is Vista does make some really neat. You can get your business cards made up, and you can get the little magnets that actually go on the car. They work really, really well. Again, you don't have the company name. In this case, I got Restoration Biology. What the heck is Restoration Biology? Well, we help restore your health. Well, how do I do that? Go to tolearnmore.com and find out. Nothing about the company, nothing about who I am or anything else. I have the scenery in the background. Just kind of catches their attention, and my whole goal here is to get them to ask a question to go ahead and take a look at tolearnmore.com. If I was to put in here Rain International Distributor, my ID number and all that stuff, believe me, they're going to just go to Rain International. They're going to just step to one side and go. You don't want that. All right. Internet marketing. This is the next aspect of what we're talking about here, and this becomes really critical. And this is a challenge for a lot of people, and it really doesn't need to be, but it's something that takes time to learn. And there's a few things that I think are important. Number one is that it's not. You would see you can put together a blog without any issues, and you can put together a blog without any issues. You can go back WordPress. If you go back to WordPress.com, you will see there is a way to set up. You can do very simply. You can set up your own blog and get information and go down. It's not a huge thing. Don't spend a lot of time initially to get started, but it's not a bad idea to go back and learn how to do it. It is free. And what's nice with that is you can start adding information back there on a daily basis and start putting your thoughts and things down there, and over time, you'll start getting connections, because if you have a blog back there and you're tied it in to videos or to your links that you have in Prosperity Central or in your VIP, it will help you. It will definitely help you start getting links where people will start finding you. So it is something well worth to learn how to do. But here's the key. If you go back and you're generating your blog and you're learning how to do it, don't make that the end all to end all. This is a long-term strategy. This is not something that's going to help you overnight. Those that have blogs that are put together and taking it takes a few months and a lot of work as you start putting content into it. Content's not that hard to find. I mean, I go back, I find content all the time. I just borrow what other people do and maybe rearrange it and plug it into mine and throw a picture and throw an ad into it. And those that are using blogs are very, very successful with it, but it's just a matter of time of developing. There are programs out there. I would warn you to stay away from some of the expensive programs out there. You can go back in WordPress very easily and just stay with the basic format. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be anything along that line. You just got to have basic information where people can tie into you and someplace you can correct people. On Facebook, it absolutely amazes me today the number of people that are scared of Facebook. But Facebook, again, is a place where you can stay in communication with the team, those who are on the various different team sites that are out there. But it also gives a place where people can find you, get to know you, find out that you're a real person. If all you go to my Facebook page, you can see who I am. You can see my family. You can see my sons. You can see the activities. You can see everything that's kind of involved in my life. It just becomes a way that people can connect and find out that you're a real person. It is definitely a way to go. If you're not on Facebook, you need to be. Again, on Facebook, this is a place you can take some of the capture pages back there, some of the information, and you can post them. You can go back there and find when the Dr. Weeks, post that. Take that link, post it back in there. Listen to this doctor, talk about good nutrition and how it's helping restore people's health. Those are things you can post back there. And if they watch that and fill out the capture page, who knows where it's going to go. If they like it, it's going to go over to other pages. It's one way of going viral. I know tonight we're going to be learning more about Facebook on our Tonight team call, so it definitely is an advantage there. The email campaigns, again, the email campaigns are everything directed to a capture page. With Prosperity Central, we have that. There are other ways to do other email campaigns. Again, email campaigns are all about long-term. They're not about instant success. But the email campaigns are definitely one of the easier ways to go ahead and start finding new business partners. We just got to go through a lot of them. YouTube, I talked a little bit about that before, but if you get on YouTube, if you open up a YouTube channel, and it's really easy to do, you can go back there. You can start posting videos. You can just use other people's videos and post them back there, and then you can put down a description. You can put in, get your 1-week free sample. Find out today how to do that. Hang on a minute. Like we're waiting for it to reconnect here, guys. Okay, we're back. Can you guys still hear me? I want to make sure this is still working. Good. All right. Yeah, as far as the YouTube channel, it's just go back to YouTube. It will explain how to do it. That's another training altogether. But it's not as complicated as it seems. Again, remember, guys, this is all about taking small bite size. Learn one thing and kind of follow through with it. Let's take a look here. A couple of additional questions. Good. All right. Now, the next thing is obviously it's social media. I mean, there are other social media sites out, the LinkedIn and things like that. Not a bad idea to be in those, and it works really well. Safe lists. There's a lot of them out there. It gives you a way to kind of promote your site. I'm not a big advocate of safe lists necessarily, but it has worked well for quite a few individuals. The one thing you have to learn with safe lists, you get involved with it, is don't use your primary email address. That's the biggest thing with that. There's all kinds of safe lists out there. Some are paid, some aren't. And so some are paid, some aren't, and I would stay away from the paid lists. Usually they're not worth the sites. Some of the free ones and some of the other ones you can get on there. You can do a promotion. Again, you should know where you're directed. There's a lot of paid sites where you can put in banners and a lot of viral marketing sites, things like that. They're not necessarily bad places to go. The one thing that's good with that is both on the safe list and on the paid sites, if you go to those, understand that there are other marketers there. They're going to be trying to cross-recruit you in the process. And they're not necessarily going to be paying attention to what you have, but you never know where you might find that one person is going to catch your attention. Generally speaking, when I go on safe list or on a paid site of any kind where I know the marketers are headed, I'm either going to offer a secondary program that's related to helping them market their business, which would be a book or an e-book of some kind in order to capture their information, or I'm going to talk more about the health issues. I'm going to treat them more like a consumer to bring them in first and then take them over. So I'll talk about, I'll put the pain banners and things like that. Again, that's a whole different training, but these are ways to get marketing and they are ways to start to develop yourself. And again, what I want everybody to realize here, every one of these things all relate back to having your capture pages and bringing people back into your platform, both for your VIP and into your Prosperity Central. Now, the next step here is obviously is offline, and offline is real simple. Offline means sitting down, getting a lead list, and calling them, making contact with them, and then and your goal here when you're calling leads is to make them an online prospect for yourself. Again, you got community boards. We do have the mailer programs, which I have a couple of my reps right now that are doing the mailer programs and seeing some success with it. And we also have you also have publications out there, and of course we got the new health news that's coming up. These are all ways to help you generate additional leads. The community boards are huge. This is where your business cards come in, because there are a lot of community boards out there where you can post a business card and put it up there. You just don't know where it's going to track. Anytime you're out at most grocery stores, have community boards. When you're at a grocery store, go ahead and plug your card up on that bulletin board. By the way, if you post a card on a bulletin board, that that your gas that you spent driving there and driving home again becomes a tax-deductible business expense. It does become an additional write-off. Publications, look around. There are newspapers, there are health publications, all kinds of local publications, things like that. Some of them are very inexpensive, and you can put a nice little ad in there, and it will attract. The health news is of course, we're going to be having one here soon that's going to be geared to Seoul. When that comes out, that is a great leave-it piece where you can drop those off or hand it to people, or it really becomes a more sophisticated business card in the long run. And there will be, once the health news comes out, I'll have additional trainings on that too. Again, look at the offline here. What we're talking about here, this is all a way it all comes back to giving people a little bit of information, and it all comes back to using your capture pages again to get them information or to get them on a path to where you want them to go. Health fairs, shows, flea markets, lively weekly meetings, these are all things that are also you should be looking at. As you start developing a team, especially if you start developing a local team, the health fairs out there and having a show or having a live meeting becomes invaluable for building your business. If you can get things put together where you can get 4 or 5 people together and get into the health fairs, you can pool your monies together and get in front of literally thousands of people. When in my last major business that we did, we traveled all over the country and did health fairs and shows, and was very, very successful. And it can be costly, though. This is something that, since this is why you just don't go out and do it on your own necessarily, it's always nice to have 2 or 3 or 4 people to work with. Not only that, but you just need the extra people to work with you in order to do it. But if you look out in your community, there's all kinds of different things where, between art fairs and health fairs, and you just take a look at it, there's all kinds of things where you can get a chance to get out and meet people. Even some of the flea markets that are out there, if you can get out and just sit down. Again, it's just a matter of passing out cards. When you do these things, you should have drawings, you should have samples available, or a way for them to get samples, brochures, and some type of visuals out there, which includes banners and things like that. That's another whole program altogether, but I know we have a few people in the group that are doing fairs and shows right now and weekly meetings and are having success with it. It's all about having a direction. And get this. Imagine what, and you guys are going to guess what I'm going to say here. This is all about taking people and getting a little bit of information, and then what are you going to do? You're going to redirect them to your capture pages so they can get more information and take it to the next step. Remember, if somebody says, I would like to learn more about your business, then I'm going to send them over to in Prosperity Central to my why rain. I'm saying, watch the video, learn a little bit about the business opportunity, fill out the form, and it will take you to a webinar where you can learn more about our opportunity. That gives, instead of me just sending them to the webinar, that gives me a little addition. If they fill out that capture page, I know I have somebody interested. And, you may talk to 30, 40 people before you find one person that does that, but that's the person we're looking to go ahead and get started in this. All right. Now, look at all this ties together. It gets back to what we talked about right back at the beginning. It's all about building a business plan. You want to take a look at these strategies that I've gone over here. Find one and master it. Don't try to do everything at one time. It will drive you crazy. So just take one, and learn how to do the email campaigns, or just take and learn how to learn how the simple techniques to making the phone calls, learn how to start to post on there, how to post on the internet, learn how to work your warm market. That's the easy one. But take one, find the technique that works, and then you can expand. That's why working warm market is really good, because if you can work the warm market and learn how to use your tools with your warm market, it becomes even easier to work your tools with your cold market. See, it's a place to start. You start with the comfort zone and you move on. Now, it becomes important. One of the things that it's really good is you've got to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to do things that are going to make you a little bit uncomfortable, and you've got to be able to step out of that. But you've got to have, if you have a plan, if you have a strategy and you're following, it will definitely help you get that. Scheduling, you should have a schedule when you're going to be doing your business. I'm telling you, if you sit down and you lay down a schedule and you are disciplined to follow through with it, if you have an hour a day you're going to work your business, and you stay to working your business. And working your business does not mean sitting there and learning new things or listening to conference calls like this. Working your business means you are doing something in that hour that is making contact with somebody that's helping you build your business. And that hour could be making a call to new prospects or calling your existing prospects and following up with it. But if you do that on a day-to-day basis and you stay with it, then it will go ahead and help you grow. Goals are very important, both short-term, long-term, and date specific is very important. You need to set down a date and time you want to get there. And if you want to get to a certain level, find out what it takes to get there, set down a reasonable amount of time, and then do it backwards. So if I know that, let's say I know for a fact, let's say I have to talk to 50 people to find one new customer, and a reasonable goal would be, okay, I'm going to find a way to contact 50 people in a week so I can bring in one new customer a week. That's a very modest goal to set. And what does it take to talk to 50 people in a week? It means I got to talk to 10 new people a day, 5 days a week. Okay? How hard is it to find 10 people a day? You get most of you in this group have 10 people you can call on a daily basis. You only need one that actually stand up. But if I call all 50 and one stands up, hey, that's a winner. That's what you're looking at. But you got to be consistently doing it over and over again. Maybe the first 100 people I talk to aren't going to be interested, but the next 50 I might find 2 or 3. Numbers always work, but it's all a matter of staying disciplined. Any business, it's just a matter of repetitive, doing the same thing over and over again, and you set up your goals and you stay with it. But as long as you start getting results, and if you aren't getting results, then make the modifications necessary to do it. But it's real important. Again, I can't emphasize this. Let the tools do the work for you. One of the things I've been discovering over the last couple of weeks of talking with new people and some of the older people on there that in here is you guys are going way overboard. Let the tools do the work. You learn how to use the tools. Go back there and see what we have. Let those tools do the work for you. You'll be amazed at how well it will work for you, because all of a sudden you are going to have people that are going to be contacting you. They're going to be asking you questions. Hey, how does this work? Or how do I get started? Or, how does it work for? Those are, and in marketing, when people ask you, those are what we call buying questions. And it's all about you answer that question, but you don't over-answer it. You answer the question, and you let them ask the next question. Because if they're asking you questions at that point, then they're showing an interest in buying. Then it's just a matter of you showing them, and you can write this down, what's in it for me? Our job is to find out what their needs, wants, and desires are, and then show them what's in it for them, both from the product part of this and also as far as the business aspect of things. And if you can show them what's in it for me, you are going to have a new customer or you're going to have a new business partner, because they will see the value that's in it to them. It's all about setting value. The next thing that I find absolutely amazing, you will find the successful marketers out there have somebody they're working with on a day-to-day basis. They're not doing it by themselves. And it is important that you guys work with somebody in your upline. Find out who your upline is. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not talking to somebody that's above me, or a week that goes by. I mean, I'm talking to all my upline. I mean, Herb and Vance are probably, I talk to Vance. I try to talk to Vance at least once a week. And Herb I talk to on a daily, even though he's been sick, we still talk and still cover things. But he's my go-to. He's my person that I work with on a day-to-day basis. You guys should have the same thing. You should have somebody in your upline that you are working with on a regular basis. And if nothing else, just bouncing ideas off. This will become very lonely if you're trying to do it by yourself. It will become very frustrating. I know I've had a couple of my reps call me just recently, and, they're going, wow, this isn't working for me. Well, yeah, you need to give it time. Or you need to make this change. Maybe we need to try this. But the thing is, if you guys are all working toward the same goal, and the one thing I remind my reps is this is a marathon. This is not a race. So you want to have your short-term goals. You want to hit them. And if you don't hit them, it's not the end of the world. Find out why, make the changes, and then go after it again. I have goals I have not hit with this company at this point, but I'm not upset by it. I'm just making the changes that are necessary in order to reach it to the next level. And you have to determine what it is you want to do. And you've got to be disciplined enough to go for it, and you've got to set up a schedule. And you've got to be able to do the work today, because, the harder you work today, the long term is where you get the results. Because, the one thing about this business and being an entrepreneurial is that you are willing to sacrifice a lot today so you can have the advantage to do what you want to do tomorrow. It's all about having that set up and going that route. All right? As you are putting your business plan together, understand we have two types of individuals. We have customers and business partners. And I've had other trainings on this, but a customer is even though a customer can still be somebody who thinks they want to be a business partner, but they're not of the business mindset. And how can you tell? You can basically tell because the customer is always concerned about cost. How much is it going to cost me to get started? How much money do I have to spend in order to do my marketing? That is a customer. That has a customer mindset. A business person is somebody that's going to look at this as the business opportunity. They know they're going to need to make some investments. And they don't say cost. What am I investing to do this? How much of my time am I going to invest? How much do I need in order to accomplish this? How much do I need to invest, and what is going to be my return? My business partners that I'm working with me today, I have quite a few people. They set aside a budget that they are working with, and I want to emphasize budget. They've taken a certain sum of money, and they are investing in their business. And how they're investing is either through investment in leads, it's either through the investments in their mail programs, it's either through the investments of maybe a dollar program, investments into buying your domain names, an investment in like with Prosperity Central. That's an investment. You're building a platform, you're building your list, you're building your names up. It's all about that. But everything should gear around to what are you looking for? How many customers do you want in your business? How many business partners do you want? And understanding that a person that says they want to be in business may still be just a customer first, because they have to learn about the product and about the business in order to grow. All right, I'm going to tie this up. Bottom line, it's all about time. You've got to take the time, you've got to do it, and you've got to persevere. If you take a look at this, and I think this picture illustrates it, is you never know how close you are, but once you give up, then you're starting over again. It's all about staying true to the course, having the plan, and keep digging until you get there. There's the old story about being 3 foot from gold. I mean, the guy is a miner and keeps digging, digging, and digging, and finally gives up and sells his mine. The next guy goes in there, and all of a sudden he hits the pick and strikes gold. You just don't know. Here's the thing that will keep you going. If you know in your heart that this is a great company and a great product, and it is a benefit to individuals, and that is the core value you have, then it's just a matter of keep plugging away. People will recognize that. They'll see that in you. As you start having small successes, they will lead to the bigger successes. The key element to all this is taking the time to learn, not to drive yourself crazy trying to learn a million things, but you're going to pick at your business one thing at a time, and you're going to keep picking at it and picking at it and picking at it, and you will start building up momentum. And when you start building up momentum, then the floodgates will open up, and you will achieve the goal you want. But it's all about giving this the time that's necessary to learn. And if you don't have a lot of business experience, if you have not done this before, then don't beat yourself up as you're learning. Take the time to learn. The one thing we have in this team that I think is invaluable in this team is you guys have people you can reach out to, but you have to reach out to them. Everybody that's in the group, everybody from myself all the way up to Vance, Herb, Dr. Weeks, you take anybody in the group, we are available in this group, especially in this team. Everybody here is willing to send out the helping hand. You're all willing to pay it forward to help somebody. But the thing is, you've got to be in touch. You've got to be there. You've got to ask. And you got to get into it. I mean, even in my group, those of you in my group that listen to this, is that, as my time gets busier and busier and busier, I don't have time to chase you down to see if you want to do the business. You have to stay in contact with me because obviously my attention, and this is the way uplines think, your attention is devoted to those that are willing to spend the time. I don't have a problem with people not having immediate success in their business. That's not an issue. What is an issue is when people quit. But as long as people are trying, are willing to try to do new things, as long as they are constantly moving forward, then I will help them every which way I can to help them make it to the next level. Somewhere, and I've seen this time and time again, where people just plug away, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. But they got that burning desire. They know they want that success, and they just keep plugging away at it, keep plugging away at it. All of a sudden, that light bulb hits, and something falls into place, and then, bam, it just moves forward. But it comes from not giving up. It comes from knowing that this is a time thing. It is a time thing where you're taking small chunks and you just keep chucking away and you keep building it. What you're going to see, and those that have had success, you know exactly what I'm talking about there, especially in the team out there, is you know, initially the first month or two was slow. The third month it got picked up. And those of us that are seeing in our groups that are seeing the growth, that are actually going beyond us because momentum is starting to pick up, and we're having to come close to momentum. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and spend an hour. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I hope this was a help. I will have this recording in the back that you can share. I think this order of events, when you sit down and you lay out your plan and you understand that it's going to take time to build, and you lay out your goals and objectives and know where you're hitting, and your success comes from hitting those goals. Maybe your goal is just as simple as, if it's nothing else but contacting 5 people a day. That's what your goal is. If you do that day in and day out, you will finally find out, maybe it will take you 50 people on contacting 5 people a day before you find one really interested party. Well, that one interested party can be the one that will go ahead and start building. If you find the next person after that, the next person after that, in a year's time, if you have 5, 6 good business builders in a year, if you have 5 people underneath you that are working the business and have the same persistence you do, then in the following year, that's when you will start seeing the real results of putting forth this effort, because that's what this is all about. So let's just check here real quick. So anyways, we'll go ahead. I'm going to close this up. If you guys have additional questions, you know I'm here for you. This recording will be out. Share this with your team. I think there's some real value here that you guys that your team members can gather on this. But I think it all comes down to, it's time and putting together your plan. You do those 2 things together, and we all can make it rain out there. See you on tonight's call. Appreciate every one of you that are in this, and let's make it rain out there. Bye now.